So today we are looking at a piece of hardware that solves a very specific and very expensive problem.
Yeah, running like a mini NASA command center right from your desk.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive on the NTI SPLITMUX-USB4K18GB-4-2R.
That is a mouthful of a model name, isn't it?
It really is.
But if you strip away all those letters and numbers, you're basically looking at a very high-end 4K HDMI quad screen splitter.
Yeah.
And multiviewer.
And we have to talk about the elephant in the server room right away. This thing costs around $5,700.
Yeah. It's a serious piece of kit.
So the mission today is to figure out why. Why would someone pay that much just to split a screen, instead of just buying 4 monitors or using some software?
It really comes down to 2 things: density and reliability.
Okay.
Imagine you're in a really high-stakes environment, like stock trading, security surveillance, maybe a broadcast control room.
Right, where you can't afford a crash.
Exactly. You need to monitor 4 different Ultra HD sources on one display, and you can't risk your software glitching out.
So to justify that price, it can't just be taking 4 HDMI cables and jamming them into one port. It has to be doing some serious processing, right?
It is. It takes 4 full HDMI 2.0 sources. We're talking 4K resolution at 60 Hertz.
On each one?
On each one. And it pipes them all onto a single monitor. It does all the scaling in the hardware itself, so your computer's processor isn't, getting bogged down trying to render 4 video streams at once.
Which I assume lets you do more than just cut the screen into 4 equal squares.
Oh, definitely. You have your standard quad mode and picture-in-picture, but the real star is the custom mode.
Okay, what does that do?
In custom mode, you can resize and position the windows anywhere you want on the screen.
I think I saw in the notes you can actually layer them too, with transparency.
You can, yeah. I mean, think about that for a second. You could have a full screen live feed of, say, a manufacturing line.
Okay.
And then you could layer a semi-transparent window right over top of it that's showing real-time efficiency graphs from a totally different computer.
Wow, that's actually really useful. You wouldn't have to look away from the video to check the data.
Precisely.
But doesn't resizing windows usually warp the image? Everybody looks short and wide.
Not with this. In custom mode, the hardware maintains the correct aspect ratio. So if you make a window tall and skinny, it doesn't stretch the content. It fits it properly. It prioritizes the visual fidelity.
Okay. But seeing 4 screens is one thing. Actually doing work on them is another. If I see a problem on screen 3, do I need 4 different mice on my desk?
That would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
No, and that brings us to the KVM Factor keyboard video mouse.
Ah, so it's built in.
Right. The device has a built-in USB switch. So you use 1 keyboard and 1 mouse to control whichever computer is currently active.
That's what turns it from just a passive TV screen into a real active workspace.
Exactly. And it gets even better. If you happen to be using a USB touchscreen monitor, in full screen mode, you can actually control the connected PC just by touching the screen.
That's a huge workflow improvement.
It is.
But I have to push back a bit on the tech specs. We're talking about 4K signals at once. How bad is the lag?
It's surprisingly low. The documentation cites 50 milliseconds of latency at 60 Hertz.
50 milliseconds. Okay, so that's fine for work, but you're probably not going to be playing competitive esports on it.
Right. It's not gaming monitor instant. But for monitoring data or video feeds or server status, it's completely imperceptible. The trade-off you're making is for stability. Unlike, a software solution like OBS that might stutter or crash under that kind of load, this hardware guarantees 60 frames per second in all quadrants, all the time.
So it's the reliability you're paying for.
Yeah, it's the key.
Now, for the people setting this up,
Yep.
How do you actually control the box itself? Am I reaching behind my monitor and flipping switches?
No, it's all designed for professional integration. It has Ethernet and a web interface, so you can just control it from a browser. But it also has an RS-232 port and an HTTP REST API.
Okay, let's translate that. RS-232 is that old school, industrial automation standard, right?
Correct. And the API is for programmers. So basically, if you want to write a script that automatically rearranges your windows when the stock market opens, you can do that.
So you can automate your whole display setup.
You can.
And what if 4 screens isn't enough? I saw the word cascading.
That is for the true power users. You can daisy chain these units. You plug the output of one NTI unit into an input of another one.
So you could build a pyramid of screens. You could monitor, 16 feeds on one display?
If you really wanted to and had the budget, yes.
So to bring this back to the listener, This device is pretty much the cure for what I'd call Alt-Tab fatigue.
That is the perfect way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
It replaces that mental load of constantly switching windows with just this persistent, customizable view of everything you need to see.
It's a powerhouse tool that just cleans up your digital world, as long as you can afford it. Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on. If you had this command center screen on your desk right now, able to overlay 4 distinct parts of your life in real time, which 4 feeds would you choose to watch? Thanks for listening to this deep dive.